Hare Krishna. In this video we are going to see about the birth of Puri Jagannath and also about the construction of the temple, history of the temple. Okay, let's go into the story. Once there lived a king called Indradyumna. He was a very great king who was ruling the kingdom very nicely. Everybody was happy with him. But he was not happy. Internally, he felt empty. He was missing something. So, he was longing for something. So, for what was he longing for? He was longing for the devotional service to the Lord. He wants to serve the Lord. Okay. So, this was his desire. And Lord understood his feeling and Lord did one Leela. One traveler came and told the king that he saw one strange thing happened in Neelachal hill. So that Neelachal hill is the current Jagannath Puri. Okay. So in the Neelachal hill he saw Devatas were worshipping a deity called Neelamadava. This is what he told. After that the traveler went and the curiosity did not leave Indradyumna to live peacefully. So Indradyumna sent so many of his ministers to search that deity, that Neelachala hill, and one of the priest among that was Vidyapati. He was a Brahmanical priest, okay, Vidyapati. So Indradyumna sent Vidyapati also to search. And then after a month's journey without rest, Vidyapati found that Neelachal hill, where he discovered a community, a tribal community called Savaras. So the chief person of this community is Vishwasvasu. Okay, so what this Vishwasvasu did, he was secretly going and worshipping Neelamadava. The traveler told no, so the same deity he was worshipping. So Vidyapati wants to know, so he stayed there. Vishwasvasu always appoints his daughter Lalita to serve the guest. So Vidyapati was a guest there. So Lalita was serving him. And then later they both fell in love with each other. They both got married. But actually before they fell in love, this Vishwasvasu was so impressed with Vidyapati's bhakti, and Vidyapati was also equally so impressed with this Vishwasvasu's bhakti. So both were equally devoted, and in spite of their different community, I mean he was a Brahmana and Vishwasvasu was a tribal. So in spite of this, they both fell in love with each other, and then they both got married. But Vidyapati's main aim of marrying his daughter was only to find that deity. Okay, so he thought once we become a son-in-law, father-in-law will tell. But that did not happen. Father-in-law was not ready. Vishwasvasu was not ready to tell any secret about Neelamadava. But constantly he was pestering him, and then Vishwasvasu decided, okay, I will show you, but one condition is there. It should be blindfolded. I will blindfold you, then only I will take you, and I will open the blindfold only in front of the Lord, in front of the deity. So this is a condition. Then he accepted that condition. Then he was blindfolded, but what he did was he carried lots of mustard seeds in his hand. It was hidden from Vishwasvasu. Okay, Vidyapati carried lots of mustard seeds, and on the way he was putting it like a trace, so that later he can find out where the Neelamadava deity was. So for tracing purpose he was putting it, and later it became a plant. Mustard seed became a plant which was helping to track. Okay, that we will see later. So he was just putting mustard seed, and then Vishwasvasu opened and he could see Nilamadava deity and he was spellbound. He was so happy. He was praying to the Lord. That time there was a divine voice. Okay, they both heard a divine voice. The divine voice was saying, Vidyapati, go and tell your king Indradyumna that you found Nilamadava. And the same divine voice also told Vishwasvasu, I'm very happy with your service. I'm very happy with your service with flowers and with the roots. So, but Vishwasvasu was so angry and he felt it was like a betrayal. He felt betrayed and he said, no, you cheated me. So this was your plan. Your plan was to take this Nilamadava away from me. Like this, he was questioning him and then he tied him. He tied him with a rope. Okay, Vishwasvasu tied Vidyapati with a rope for many days. He didn't allow him to go back. But then after his daughter requested, Lalita requested, please leave my husband, then he left him. Son Vidyapati happily going back to his king Indradyumna and telling, Eureka, I found Nilachal hill. I found the deity worshipped by the Devatas secretly on daily basis. I found Nilamadava. Then Indradyumna was very happy. Indradyumna was following Vidyapati and they were using this mustard plants as a trace. Okay, using this trace, they reached that spot. But Nilamadava was missing. So Indradyumna was in utter shock. He was already longing for devotional service, but the deity was missing. And then he doubted Vishwasvasu. He said, okay, Vishwasvasu, it must be your plan. Show me the deity, where you hid it. And then again another divine voice is coming. It was saying he was innocent. He didn't do anything wrong. Out of my own will only I disappeared. Okay, so what Indradyumna, what you do? You need to build a temple here in this place, in this Nilachal hill, and it will be called as Jagannath Puri. Okay, it will be called as Jagannath temple, Jagannath Swami temple. Okay, and then he started building the temple. But Indradyumna thought Brahma only should should do the pradishta of the deity, or he only should do Kumbhabhishekam. Okay, Kumbhabhishekam means whenever you construct a new temple, we do Kumbha, the Kumbha of the temple. On the tower you will see that is called Kumbha. Okay, or crown. On the temple tower you will see one crown, that's called Kumbha in Sanskrit. In Tamil also it's called Kumbha. Okay, so we do Abhishekam of that. So Abhishekam means bathing. Okay, bathing that crown of that temple tower. So this ceremony should be conducted only by Brahma. So this was his wish. So he went to Brahmaloka. So you may wonder how come the king who was ruling this Bhuloka, how can he travel to another lokas? But it was written in Skanda Purana like that only, in Purushottama Mahatmyam. In Jagannath, in earlier days it was called Purushottama Kshetra. Okay, so it's Purushottama Mahatmyam in Skanda Purana. This is how it was written, that he went to Brahmaloka and he requested Brahma, but due to the time difference between Bhuloka and Brahmaloka, by the time Indradyumna came back to that Avantipura, he was ruling Avantipura. By the time he came back to Avantipura, he saw many were missing. His known faces were missing because of the age. Everybody, whoever he knew, were dead. Okay, and other kings were ruling. So it was so shocking for him that there was no known faces. And then he also found shocking that king actually found this temple which he just started. Indradyumna started, but it was covered with lots of sand. So that new king was trying to renovate that temple. Okay. But Indradyumna thought, no, I only started the temple, so I only have the right, but nobody could recognize Indradyumna. But there was one mystical crow which was doing tapas, which was doing penance for so many years. Okay, it was sitting in the banyan tree and it told both the kings the entire story. Then they came to know. So Indradyumna remained steadfast in finding that Neelamadava. He was still unhappy, and God came in his dream and told not to worry, that I will come in the form of a log, okay, a wooden log floating in the ocean. So what you need to do, you need to pull that wooden log from the ocean and carve it, okay. So and then do the installation of that deity in your new temple. So this is what he told, and everybody, great soldiers tried to pull that log, but nobody could pull it out. Even elephants tried to pull it out. Horses were used to pull it out, but they couldn't pull that deity. I mean that log, wooden log, which was none other than the Lord Jagannatha. Lord told that in the wooden log I am completely present. Okay, so you should not differentiate that log and me. So this is what he told, and he told you can find some signs in that wooden log. You will find Shankha, Chakra, that is conch. You can find the mark of a conch shell, mark of a club, mark of a disc, that is Sudarshana Chakra. All the marks you will find, the auspicious marks of the Lord you will find in that log, he told. And then finally, the descendants of this Vishwasvasu, one of the descendant came out and he said, I will pull it. Then only the Lord came out from that ocean, and now the decision should be made. Who is going to do the sculptural work? This is what was going on. And then there was one person called Ananta Maharana. Ananta Maharana agreed to carve the deity of the Lord. But Ananta Maharana told that there is a condition. It was said in another books that Ananta Maharana was actually Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma was a civil engineer for spiritual kingdom. Vishwakarma only constructed Indraloka. Lord Indra's Loka, Indraloka, was constructed by Vishwakarma. Even Lord Krishna's house, that is Nanda Gopa's house in Vrindavana, was built by Vishwakarma. In the same way, this Jagannath, in Puri Jagannath, you will see three deities. One is Lord Jagannatha, that is Krishna, and then another one is Subhadra, his sister, and another one is Krishna's elder brother Baladeva or Balrama. So these are the three deities you will see. But why they were not having hand and legs? Why they were looking so different, even without ears? So this was the question in everybody's mind. So the answer lies here. I initially told there was a condition, right? This Brahmana told there was a condition. You need to follow the condition, then only I will do the sculpting work. This is what he told. Then Indradyumna agreed to the condition. The condition was nobody should disturb him. Nobody should knock the door. He will close the door and he will start the work. But nobody should knock the door. The moment anybody knocks the door, he will disappear and he will stop the work. So this was the condition. And so 2 weeks he was inside and he started doing the sculpting work. And suddenly, one day after 2 weeks, there was no sound. So from that room, there was no sound coming. Indradyumna was so shocked. Why there was no sound coming? Because this, he told we should not disturb him. He didn't eat anything. He didn't drink anything. Maybe he fainted down or what? What happened? How come he can survive for this long week without eating or drinking anything? So he thought, and he was so scared about his health, and he knocked. He broke the condition. Okay, he broke the rules. He broke the agreement, and he knocked. The moment he knocked, he disappeared. He knocked and opened the door also. He disappeared. So there he saw lying these three deities, incomplete, without ears, without hand, without legs. So he felt devastated. He felt very bad. He thought, oh my God, we should have respected him. He disappeared. So it shows that he is not a normal human who is doing this work. We should have respected him. So he felt very, very guilty because these three deities were incomplete. Till today, it is like that. And you can see some hand, like a golden hand and silver hand, which was kept by the priest. But originally, he was not having any hand, any limbs. Okay, so he was so unhappy and he couldn't sleep, and then Narada convinced him. These were all God's Leela. Okay, so you need to understand, God does not need a hand to accept our offering. Then Brahma came and he gave Indradyumna divine mission to see that his new friends were in fact the embodied souls of his old companions Vidyapati and Vishwasvasu. That is, Vidyapati and Vishwasvasu again took a rebirth to serve the Lord along with Indradyumna. Because I told you, Indradyumna visited Brahmaloka, and by the time he came back, the time between the earth and the Brahmaloka is different, and so nobody could recognize Indradyumna because they were all they were all in the new body. So thus the story of Jagannatha's appearance ended happily. So this is how Jagannatha appeared. Okay, so Brahma only did all this installation. Even in Mahabharata, it is said that Arjuna visited Shivaloka. Krishna took Arjuna to Kailasha. So, even though Arjuna was in Bhuloka, he also went to this Shivaloka. So, he traveled to many lokas. In those days, kings traveled to many lokas from Bhuloka. So, it was a normal thing. We will see why this Rath Yatra is very famous. Okay, so I am going to upload a series of video in coming weeks about Rath Yatra and Jagannatha related stories. Hare Krishna, Jai Jagannatha. Hope you like this video.